It's
But
insane.
we're talking about LinkedIn today, you guys, and I'm super excited to talk to Marcus. If you haven't heard of Marcus, he's the only other sales trainer that is Asian, I believe, that a male Asian at least, and a bald guy. But I talk to Marcus a lot outside of the content that we've created together, and he has 14 years of working in corporate America and just crushed it during that time, both as a rep, sales leader, building sales teams, and that sort of stuff. And one thing that he's really focused on right now is helping reps, add an additional 50 to 100K in earnings through their coaching and training programs. And one of the big things they specialize in is, how do we do this LinkedIn thing? So do we pitch people in the request or not? Do we send blank connection requests or not? How do we get people to take a meeting? We're going to be covering all that good stuff. So Marcus, I'm excited to jam with you again on a webinar, man.
Bro, we are going to have so much fun, right? So I'm very, very excited. I'm very excited. Should we see what people want to learn about today? Should we just...
Yeah, let's do it. What do you guys want to
Cool.
hear about when it comes to LinkedIn? Hit us in the chat, you guys. Keep the chats coming. And if you could, in the to section in the chat, put panelists and attendees. That way everyone can see what you're posting. It'll be a little bit more engaging that way. But yeah, put it in there. And go ahead, Marcus, if you want to read some of them
Mm.
off, man.
Yeah, it's like we got prospecting without being slimy, cadence strategy, initial connection requests, getting more appointments, connection requests, video messaging, content, converting LinkedIn to leads, into marketing, getting shut down, how many people respond, how to engage with them. All right, so it wants 2 appointments after. Beautiful. Get meetings, get meetings, get meetings, get responses, video prospecting. Okay, beautiful. Here's a really cool part. We're going to cover all these today. It's almost as if I did my homework and I know exactly what you want to learn in advance, because it's almost as if I do exactly what I preach, which is exactly what I do. So we're going to have some fun today. The bee's knees. I like that. I like that. Are paid versions of LinkedIn worth it? Yes.
I think the short
Okay.
answer to that one is yes, definitely. You
Yes,
definitely
do
want
it.
Sales Navigator or at least Premium.
Breaking the enterprise, right? Best follow up. Yeah. And if your company doesn't pay for it, pay for it yourself. I mean, I'm just telling you, it's $80 a month or whatever it is. You'll make it back easily if you do exactly what we talk about today. Okay. In-mail versus reg connection. Yep. We'll talk about that today as well. Okay. Should we get rocking, Jason?
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna get rocking. Let me go home. We're gonna cover pretty much all these, right? I don't think I saw a single thing we didn't cover, right? But worst case scenario, if we miss anything that you have a question on, we'll cover for sure at the very end, right? So we got a lot of content to cover. So I think as you are dropping questions in, at the very end, we'll do a complete open Q&A, but we're gonna have some fun today, okay? So today we're gonna cover how do you actually use LinkedIn to generate dozens of qualified means without being pitchy or spammy. So this literally is going to be step by step for you, so you know how to generate dozens of warm leads daily, so you can overfill your pipeline, close thousands of dollars, and make a lot of money off LinkedIn. And no, you do not need to be an influencer. You do not need a huge audience. You do not need paid ads. All right. So we're going to go through today. And what we're going to go through today, there is no theory. This is exactly what I do and continue to do to generate results, even when I started, when I started using LinkedIn heavily when I only had 3,000 connections. Like today, we're going to give you a lot of value. So definitely be ready to take notes. We're going to cover a lot of things today. These are going to be very actionable, very tactical. Our goal today, we're going to hold nothing back for you. But I also want you to keep in mind as well, there's no secret sauce. If you're here looking for a secret sauce, a magic script, that's just not real life, okay? We're going to teach you some things that are very simple in nature, and they do work when you do it consistently and effectively, all right? So let's make sure we have the right people on first off. So for you, for B2B sales, who this training is for, you are a B2B sales professional, and you want to use LinkedIn to generate more leads, qualify points, close deals. You want to make money leveraging LinkedIn as a tool to supercharge your results. Maybe you've never used LinkedIn before to prospect and close, right? Or maybe you have used LinkedIn, but you have not been happy with the results. You might have tried like posting content with 0 leads generated. You might have tried sending direct messages to prospects with no or negative response, etc. So if that's you, drop me a 1 if that's been you so far. If that is you, drop me a 1 if you've done these things.
It looks
Beautiful.
like we got
Yes. One. Okay, I'm gonna start reading ones. We got a lot of ones here. Beautiful. All right. So who's this not for? All right. If you are a B2B sales pro and you have an ego, there's no room for egos here. Throw the ego out the door. Okay. It's very important. You are unwilling to try new things. Okay. You are full of excuses on why things won't work. do not be on here. You might as well just hang up right now because that's gonna be a waste of your time. Okay. And
One
you are
quick
not
thing,
actually.
Marcus.
Yeah, go
One
ahead.
quick thing,
Yes.
because a bunch of people are asking me.
Yeah.
Yes, this will be recorded.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be sent out afterwards, and yes, you'll get a copy of this document.
Yes.
Just to answer for everyone. And if you have questions, please use the Q&A button in Zoom. Throw them in there. We'll get to as many as we can. But go ahead, Marcus. A
Yes.
lot of people were asking.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yes, for B2C, yes, it's going to work for B2C as well because I'm going to teach you psychological principles, tactics, and strategies that work for selling to human beings. So if you're selling to a human being, this will work, okay? Also, if you are not an action taker, you might as well hang up too. So if that's you, stop watching. And knowledge means nothing without execution, okay? So let's talk about what I'm going to cover today. So I want to make sure you know exactly what I'm going to cover today. I'm going to cover the 7 buyer beliefs your buyers must have for a sale to occur and how to use LinkedIn to build these beliefs, how to plug LinkedIn into your sales process to supercharge your pipeline, how to optimize your profile to convert, how to build a juicy pool of prospects to prospect into, how to do outbound messaging that actually books meetings, how to create content that gets your prospects reaching out to you, and more. Okay. So if that sounds good to you, type in a 2. So I know pay attention. Type in a 2 if you're cool. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, cool. And I'm gonna tell you right now what Jason and I are gonna cover today. Literally, there's people out there who will sell this training for $3,000 to $5,000 plus that you'll get absolutely free for being here. All right, so pay close attention. Let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so first off, let's talk about the 7 buyer beliefs your buyers must have for a sale to occur and how to use LinkedIn. But I also want to make sure you understand the sales process from a 30,000 foot view. This is kind of small, so let me just show you this bad boy right here. So what you'll see here is your prototypical sales process in the middle, right? You know, a phone call, appointment booked, disco, demo, or presentation closed, you onboard them. That's essentially it, okay? When we talk about LinkedIn here, when you utilize LinkedIn properly, it can help you a lot of your top of the funnel stuff to get to that booked meeting, okay? So all stuff from upfront, that could be anything from, you know, from your content to your outbound messaging, et cetera, right? And then also, when you use LinkedIn properly, it can also nurture every part of the process as well to close. Okay. So I wanted you to understand, like LinkedIn, some people see, oh, LinkedIn's only for just booking meetings. Well, if you do it properly, it can help you for every part of your process. Okay. So if that makes sense so far, just type in a 3 to make sure you're mopping what I'm spilling. Okay, cool. So I know it's very fundamental, but it's really important to understand. Okay. Beautiful.
Mopping what I'm spilling, dude. I'm learning all kinds of new words and phrases
Oh
from you
yeah.
today.
I'm flowing, baby. I'm flowing. Once I start, I don't stop. Okay. So I also want you to make sure you understand too this as well. Using LinkedIn and social selling, if you will, properly is a tool to help you for every part of sales process, like I just mentioned. It also does not mean cold calling or emailing is dead. It does not mean you can just post on LinkedIn only daily and leads just flood right in. You want to use LinkedIn in conjunction with all other outbound strategies. Really, really important because you're going to have some prospects who simply are just not active on LinkedIn. Okay. So it's important to understand using conjunction with everything else. All right. And we're going to break down some really tactical tips and strategies you can execute to get results that uses LinkedIn as a tool to supercharge your sales process. Okay. So also another side note, being really awesome on LinkedIn does not mean you will close still. Like Jason and I, we were just talking about this before. We know people who look like they have a big presence on LinkedIn, but they really don't bring in that much business. They may have a big audience, they might have really good engagement, but it doesn't actually mean they're actually using it effectively as a tool to generate revenue. So you still also must be able to master the phones, run a killer disco. You still must be great in the demo presentation. You must close like a champ. You must handle objections like a boss. You got control of the sales process still. So being good at social selling does not absolve you at being great at everything else, okay, involved with closing deals. It's important to understand that. So next, let's dive into the 7 buyer beliefs, okay? So the 7 buyer beliefs. So these are the beliefs that your buyers must have. And when they have these, your chances of closing will skyrocket. And this applies to your whole process. So number 1, you know, when you're working with prospects, they must believe there's pain. They must believe there's pain in their current situation. Okay. Number 2, they must believe that there is a cost, right? A cost of inaction. They believe if they do not take action, there's an impact to them. There's a cost to them, a COI. So not an RO, but a COI. They must believe there's a COI. Number 3, they must believe they have certain desires. So they must have a desired future state or goals. Number 4, doubt. They must doubt they can do it on their own or that their existing vendor method can do it. Number 5, they must believe their resources. They must believe they have a way to get the resources or capital to invest and use whatever you are offering and selling as a solution. Number 6, decision-making power. They must believe they can pull the trigger and can highly influence it. And number 7, trust. They must have trust in your company, the offer, you, etc. And when you use LinkedIn properly, it can really help you establish these 7 beliefs from your top of the funnel work to the bottom funnel and move them from awareness to action. So going back to here, when you use it properly, you get their attention, their interest, decision, action. LinkedIn can help you move them all the way through the flow, okay? All the way through the flow, all right?
So Marcus, just because there's some questions on this,
yeah.
if you could clarify, you want to get to Rob's question there and Colin, just to give them some a little bit of clarification around what you mean by these 7 beliefs.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so take a look. So Rob's question is, how can you determine this based on their profile? So here's the thing. You can't. Okay, you can't. If LinkedIn had an algorithm that says if I plug in the sales now Boolean search, this would pump out a hyper targeted list that shows me exactly all these beliefs. That doesn't happen. That's not real. I wish, right? So the thing is you may not know, but what happens is if you do things properly as part of your sales process, like with some of your content and some of your outbound, you can hook them. Right. So for example, like think about even the pain, like if you are sending target messaging and you understand the true pain of your prospect, right? Or you have a safe assumption, that messaging will hook them a lot more than a generic message. Okay. So there's going to be some things where you're not going to know 100%, but that's why getting them on the phone, qualify them is so vital. That's why LinkedIn is just a tool to help you get to that point. So hopefully that should make sense. Okay. Let's take a look. Colin's question is, must they have these things before you reach out to them, before you close them? So it's not before you reach out to them. It's really more so as part of your process. And it's being able to use LinkedIn to help you with that. So here's reality. With your first outbound message, it's really hard to know all these things, right? Like for example, if you say you work for a smaller company and you're doing outbound, they're not going to probably have trust in you quite yet as a person or whatever. So really, we'll talk about today, how do you build that trust in them beforehand? So we'll talk about really when you are reaching out, how do you help establish these things, even initial outreach, through the whole process? And we'll talk about that with LinkedIn today. Okay. All right, cool.
One other quick thing, Marcus, that might be good for these folks too, is this concept of guessing versus creating a hypothesis. So if you think about when you create a hypothesis, that is a very educated guess. Yes. I'm not just randomly guessing if Marcus has a problem with prospecting and getting people to take appointments or not. I'm making a hypothesis that of the people that I talk to like him, that I work with, that have had similar problems, I can go in with a really educated guess or a hypothesis. So there's a really big difference between those two. Sandy asked, is anyone else glitching? Can you guys give us a yes in the chat? Can you hear us all right? Is the audio coming in good? We good? Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, keep going, Marcus. I wanted to add that little bit of clarification there.
Beautiful. Okay, cool. So next, let's get into the meat and potatoes, how to use it step by step. So here's the baseline. You must know your ICP, that's your ideal customer profile, your target market, whatever you want to call it, your perfect avatar, whatever you want to call it, scarily well. Their goals, desires, wants, heartburns, problems, etc. They must feel like you are in their head. That's really, really important. Okay. And each person, and it's not going to be, you want to be able to have an idea about them for most part, right? For each persona. So you don't have to know, you might be like, okay, I believe they have this issue and they don't have it. Well, that's okay. Have an idea overall, that ICP, overall that persona, are they most likely to have these type of things? That's the first thing, okay? You also must be able to show 2 things as part of using LinkedIn. You want to show people that you are of value to them and not a spammer, okay? You are of value and not a spammer, AKA reduce their risk and increase their value. That's really, really important. We'll talk about more about this in a second. Also understand this, where the attention goes, money flows. We live in a 3-second world. So when you are doing outreach or you are putting content out there, you are interrupting people. So you need to catch their attention and get their attention, because when they pay attention, that's how you're able to secure meetings and lead them into a disco to potentially closing them. Okay. Now, when you think about this as well, when you start doing outreach or you're engaging with maybe their profile or their content, the first place they will check is your profile.
Yep.
Okay, it's your profile. So I want to really break down your LinkedIn profile is the most valuable asset you have on the platform. This piece of real estate, when done properly, is a 24/7 machine that sells for you. And this is every single part of your profile, from the tagline to the banner to your about section, the feature section, the content you post, the job history experience, the recommendation. And you want to be what I call the attractive character for your industry. Now, I'm going to date myself a little bit, right? So, who here has ever seen the movie It's Something About Mary with Cameron Diaz? If you have seen Something About Mary, just type in, yes, me, haha, whatever. Let me know if you. Of course. Yep. I don't want to assume here. Okay. So the attractive character, is it's not hair gel. You're right. I remember hair gel. Anyways, so Mary, Cameron Diaz in there, she is the attractive character. And I'm not talking about just like looks, but her overall, everything about her, her personality, how she does things, how she gives back, who she is. And everyone in that movie is in love with her and wants to be with her. They want to be around her. Guys want to date her, or women want to be her, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what you want to think about, you want your LinkedIn profile to be the Cameron Diaz, to be the Mary, to be that attractive character. So when your prospect, your ICP looks at your profile, they're like, ooh, I could learn something from this person. I see them of value. And that's across the board, from the image you are portraying to the attitude, to the knowledge, etc. Okay, so let me pause for a second. I want to make sure that makes sense. If that makes sense to you, type in a 2 if that makes sense to you so far. Beautiful. Lots of 2s. Okay, cool. So it sounds cool. Let me just give you a specific example here. Okay, so I'm gonna pull my profile up. I'm gonna walk you through step by step on how my profile is designed, so you can see behind the scenes exactly how it's crafted, because you want to be able to create for your specific industry. All right. And the mistake many people make is the profile they have is still designed to get a job. And if you have a great job, you're not looking for a job, then you need to change it. Okay. So, how the video profile? So it's they give limited access. I was one of the first beta testers they gave it to. So a whole cover story. That's something else. So you want to make sure it hooks them. So first off, profile headshot. So does a headshot, is it the look that people are looking for? It's not gonna be for everyone. But for example, for mine, I know people in the B2B sales world, they want to make sure I'm not like a homeless guy, right? They want to make sure I know what I'm talking about. So, okay, I don't want to wear a full suit. I'll take a tie off. I have a picture there. I'm laughing. It stands out. Okay. It pops. I wore a different color suit. It pops. Now it stands out. I also have a yellow background in Canva with a blue ring. Very intentional, because you'll see when we start talking about engaging, my headshot pops. It stands out more amongst everybody else. Again, I'm grabbing attention. Very intentional. Okay. Next, if they go to my my banner here. So my banner here, right here, it's pretty clear. Like, I got some credibility, what I've been featured in. What do I do exactly? I help people who are B2B sales sell and earn more. Okay. I have a couple calls to action to contact me or grab a free sales training. So whatever you have, again, so they're looking here like, okay, you know what? I don't like this guy's haircut, but you know what? I think I could trust him enough. Okay, cool. Next, tagline. All right. What's your tagline say? So mine's very clear on who I help directly. People on this call right now, right? B2B sales professionals. What exactly? Make way more money. That's simply it, right? I have a call to action. I got a little bit of credibility. Now you can have some funny stuff in there. So mine also says from selling Speedos to 7 figures, because I did sell Speedos at one point. So, but whatever you want to do, it's up to you. But again, it's really clear what I do. Let's say they start scrolling down some more. Okay, they start scrolling down some more. The next section I have is the featured. This is very valuable real estate. So the feature section here, it could be, again, it's got to be of value to them. Something's going to be helpful. It could be credibility, what it's going to be, right? So for here, like I have, a killer free training here. I have some credibility from the Salesforce recognition, and they keep going through the Forbes piece, LinkedIn top voice, case study. So there's a bunch of stuff. You don't have to have this much stuff, but at least 1 or 2 things, or even one, that's going to be ideal for your target market so far. Okay. Let's take a look. See, question so far. You use Canva. Canva is great. Um, Company colors, background for the photo. Entirely up to you for the color. I intentionally use yellow because it stands out and pops. That's why.
Pops.
So,
Yeah. I always notice your profile picture, by the way, because of the
okay.
yellow. It's not because I see your face or your bald
I
head or
know
anything
my
like that.
charm, my charm. I get it. I get it. I get it. Right. So you're exactly what the yellow. It pops. Right. So that's key. Because again, I'm grabbing attention. So next, they start scrolling down. Like they might say, "Oh, let me check out your what you've been posting about." Now, again, not every prospect's going to do this. Some will, not all, but you want to capture anybody, right? So they might start going through and seeing what you're all about. They might start going through whatever, right? So that might happen. Now, if they continue to scroll down, because maybe they're skeptical about you, no problem. Maybe they won't read your about section. So the about section here, again, it's like there's a couple different ways. You can have it specifically speak to your audience, or you can write a little story. I like to share stories, so I share a story here in my background, right? Because if they saw my Speedos line, they're like, what is this weirdo talking about? So I make sure I address that up front because, people already think I'm weird. Regardless, I share a little background story about, how I was born and raised, from I share my story of struggling to having success and some recognition. But these are things, again, that I know, my audience wants to know, hey, did you actually do the job? Did you carry the bag? Did you have success? Are you going to be a person of value for me? That's, again, what they're looking for, right? Some calls to action to help them, right? Now, they may not read this, but it's okay. So next, they might keep scrolling to your experience. Does your experience here, is it something that's going to be of value to them if they were to take time to look through it, right? So I'm very intentional here. So I have more credibility, right? So people know, okay, I'm not some fly-by-night guy. I've had some recognition. Maybe they want to check out what you're doing at your current company. So again, here, it's very intentional. So you can write about whatever you want here. Again, I'm putting things in here that's going to be of value to my target market, okay? And then you can also add links. So you can add links in here as well as part of your pro. So again, valuable real estate. Not everyone's going to look through this, but the ones who look through all of this are going to be really warmed up because now they can like you, know you, and trust you more. So for example, like here, it's like, okay, they start going down. Okay, what's this link? Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, what's this? Let me just click right here, see what happens. Oh, now they're like, oh, wow, this guy actually knows what they're talking about. So you start seeing, like, you have all these places where you can have things that are going to be of value to them. Okay. They keep scrolling down, right? Whatever it's going to be. It's going to be, again, a value to them. So for sometimes, for example, I know people that are looking to maybe work with me. They say, Marcus, did you even do the job? Like maybe you only had success as a sales coach. Maybe you didn't have success in a real B2B sales world. Okay, no problem. So I make sure I list out all things I've achieved. I have plenty of proof, right? So as they're going through again, I'm just making sure I'm providing more credibility and validating that I'm not a spammer. I know what I'm talking about, right? And you can keep going through. So you get the point. If they were to keep going, again, they get down to, like endorsements don't really matter that much, just so you know, but recommendations. Like recommendations are a very powerful way to validate that you are a person of value to whoever you are prospecting. Because if they come down to here and they start looking through, like if you have none or just one, it's generic. But if you have a lot, people start reading through like, okay, wow, like this is like pretty detailed. So again, this is nurturing your prospects. So you can see right here, this is really, really valuable real estate. Okay. So this is powerful. I'm going to pause for a second right here. So, does that make sense so far? Type in a 3 if that makes sense so far. Look at some of these questions. Okay, everyone go yellow. So if you're new to our field, should we tailor more of our content to our company than ourselves? Yes. So if you say you work for a new company, and you don't have the credibility quite yet, that's okay. So utilize whatever assets your company has to help build your credibility. Okay. Now, do your best to not make it so much corporate speak, if you will. Make it as customized to you as possible, just because people want to buy into you as a person when you're doing your outreach. They don't want to feel like they're reading a commercial. Okay. So, for example, like, if you're in your, maybe you have a new job. Let's just say I just started working at, ABC company, and maybe you don't necessarily have, the credibility you want to put it there, but maybe you can say, hey, we work with these type of people. Here are some, most popular case studies. Boom. Some examples of cases, very powerful, right? Or useful resources that's going to be of value solving major problems of your target market. Okay.
One quick thing I want to point out about Marcus's profile too is when you look at the descriptions, and you'll have to spend some time, you guys, looking at it after the webinar too,
Yep.
is that everything is written in story format.
Yes.
All of your positions talk about, hey, when I took over this team, they were struggling, and here's what I did.
Correct.
So when you're putting together, and I had to go through and do this a couple years ago too, where I readjusted the descriptions of all my past jobs to highlight more of my experience that's relevant to how I help people
Sure.
now with inside sales. So it
Correct.
doesn't have to be an industry related thing. Just think about
Correct.
the prospects that see your stuff
That's right.
from their perspective. How can you create a story about who you are and how it helps, even if it's in a different industry?
That's right. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Right. So, Max, great point here, right? So, yes, you're right. I have accolades here, but remember, this is to my target market, right? B2B sales professionals, I want to know, have you done the job? Unless you're targeting those, you don't have to worry about that. So if you are targeting, HR executives, IT executives, or whatever, again, what's going to speak to them? That's why you have to know the ICP really, really well, right? And oh yeah, those emojis are just like from the Apple keyboard, or literally you can just like do it on your phone too. Oh, here's a little hack, by the way. Here's a little hack. Sorry, Android. I mean, I'm a huge Android fan, but on iOS you get more character space for your tagline. Little hack right there. So do it on your phone, on your iPhone or iPad, you get more character space. All right. Okay, cool. Let's keep moving. We've got lots to cover still. Next. So now you have a really cool profile. It's freaking awesome. But it's like having an awesome house for a great party, but nobody's there. So now you must create the party and the attention. And you have to go where they hang out and comment meaningfully. And let me be really specific here. So this is what you want to do now, because let's just say you just started a new company, even your target market, whoever your connections are, might be from your past company or somewhere else. They may not even be relevant. All right. So you might have a great profile, but no one's going to check it out. Okay. So you now need to go and get some eyeballs on your profile. So here's what you want to do. So first off, you can go to either micro or macro influencer posts. This is called borrowed traffic. So what I mean by that is, and don't just go to like, unless you sell to salespeople, don't go to just like people that you follow that are in sales and comment on them. Go and find specific industry leaders in the industry you are targeting that your target market follows. Okay, really, really important. Every single industry has these celebrities, if you will. Whether it's IT space, right? Cloud intelligence, data analytics, I don't know, like manufacturing, engineering. Each of them has their own types of celebrity stats, people that you want to go and find. And when you go and find them, those are the ones you want to find them on the post, and you can do some research there. This is why you get to ICP. You find their posts, right? And you start engaging on their posts, right? Really, really important, because when you engage well and meaningfully, people will check you out. Okay. And then also target micro influencers. So these are people that maybe have called 5 to 10K, 5 to 10,000 people in their audience, but people love their stuff still. And going in there and commenting meaningfully will get eyeballs on you as well. Really, really important. You could also look up hashtags. What are really popular hashtags for your industry that they're going to be following? This is where you start finding where your people are hanging out. Because picture this. LinkedIn has over 300 million active users. I guarantee you a small percentage of your audience is still in there at the very minimum, if not more. Okay. Really, really, really important. Okay. So you just pick a couple different hashtags, right? So can you see the number of followers someone has? Yeah. So when you go to someone's profile, you can see it. For example, let's go to JBase real quick. Boom. There you go. You can see their followers there, right? Now, don't get too caught on that, right? Really, what you're looking for are just, you want to get eyeballs, right? Eyeballs, right? So, for example, like, let's just say I'm going to look up, I don't know, let's just say I'm talking, information technology, because people have to tell me, oh, there's nobody on an IT on LinkedIn. Well, let's find out real quick. Let's see if you're right or wrong. Let's find out. All right.
48,000 people.
48,000 people follow us. Okay. Let's just take a look at the top here. Now, not all of your target market, you start looking through, like, who are some people. Let's take a look. This guy, he's a cyber farmer. That's awesome. I don't know what that means. I'm not that cool. You start looking through, like, what are people? He's applying. He's recruiting. Right. You start looking. Right. It's going to take a little bit of work, but the key is, once you know who they are, once you find key people that are consistently posting that are of high value, let's try this. We're not going to spend. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I want to give you an example. Okay, they're just posting random stuff. That's not important. This is a spam post. But you start looking for people that are of value. Okay, who's this guy? He's a speaker. Now, this might give you a little clue. Oh, you know what? Is this Henry guy of high value? Don't know. Let's go find it and go check them out. So you start getting a point. You start doing research here, and you find those macro influencers, and you start engaging on their stuff. Really, really important. Okay. So here's what you want to do though. Do this daily for 30 minutes a day. Okay. Shoot for as many meaningful comments as possible. This is really important. So it's got to be meaningful. So if you just go on there and say, that's cool, Jason, nobody cares. But if you have an interactive question, you can do what's called an open loop question. You drop your insights about whatever it is. Hey, I found this, what you posted above, super valuable. What are your thoughts about this? Now, if they respond back, now you get some eyeballs on there. And that's going to drive that comment to the top of the post, and your target market is going to see that, okay? This is what you want to do.
A lot. You do this on my posts.
Every single day, baby. Every single day. ABP. Always be prospecting, okay? So the better the comment, the more the eyeballs. And remember, eyeballs means they'll check out your profile, and that's a net to capture them. Again, that's why the profile is so freaking vital. All right. Next. So that's one part of your strategy. Next, hyper targeted searches. Ideally within Sales Navigator, because you can really niche down by industry, years of experience, size of business, etc. Same thing. Exact same thing. And then you can go on there and you can literally do the same thing. You meaningfully comment on the most recent posts. Same concept, okay? I really recommend when you're niching down your target market, add 25 to 50 daily of your target market as possible, right? This is pending LinkedIn restrictions because I've heard right now you do about 100 or so, right? We've been able to break that still every week, but we're still pretty careful too because you don't want to go into LinkedIn jail, which means you send out too many connection requests. So ideally 25 to 50 of your target market, okay? And then what you can do is Sales Navigator. If you have Sales Navigator, you have a Sales Navigator feed that will show the people on your target list you've created, and you can engage with them as well, all right, if they're in a saved list. This builds familiarity. Really important. So now, if you're also commenting now on your target market stuff, they're seeing your face show up. Like, who's this person with this bright background? Whether you send them connection requests or not. So let's start seeing that. Okay. Let's take a look. All right. Yep. Okay. How many hashtags are useful? So LinkedIn only says 3. So 3 is more so if you post it. This is what I'm talking about up here for commenting on hashtags. You can follow as many as you want. The key is finding good ones, right? Finding good ones that your target market's hanging out in, right? So that's each industry is a little bit different. So you can also like Google, top hashtag for your industry, and you'll see there's ways to find pretty quickly what our top ones look for. Okay. Also your own content. So when you are putting out your own content, right, engaging with the target market, because if you are putting valuable content, which we'll talk about more in a second, they're going to check out your profile as well. Engage with them. Don't just post and ghost, right? If they like your stuff, connect with them. So again, all you're doing is you're building your hunting ground. You're building your audience into your followers and also into who's seen your stuff of the right people, okay? And here's a really cool part. When you start doing the above, you will start creating an audience of future buyers that see value in you and positions you as the authority. It does not matter if you are brand new in your space. The key is doing this consistently. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not like suddenly I start doing it and leads are coming in. This take a little bit of time to build up, okay? To take a little bit of time to build up. So a couple myths here, all right? I don't have time to spend all day on LinkedIn. You don't need to be on LinkedIn. Build an amount of time you want to work on LinkedIn. Let's call it 30 minutes or an hour, but understand it's also a long game, really important, okay? Number 2, I've tried commenting. It doesn't work. I hate to break it to you. It probably was not good of a comment. Okay, like it has to be a high value comment. When they see like, oh wow, that's really good, hold nothing back and do not pitch or spam in the comment. Like if someone posts a comment on micro influencers post and you're like, oh cool, hey, we can help with that. Go check out this link here. Nah, don't do that. Go in there, just drop a high value comment, and that's going to drive some eyeballs to that. Really, really important. Okay. So let me pause for a second. Are you guys seeing value? Are you seeing value so far? Drop me a 1 if you've seen value so far. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Someone wants to see an example of one. I think it's say an example. Okay, cool. Yeah. You know what? Let's go back to Jay Bay's right spot on. He's like, oh, dude, you just did that yesterday to me. He's like, you SOB. Hold on. Let's pull
What
up.
about the one, the sales manager? You put a
Yeah,
real
that's something.
in there. Yeah.
That was a really good one. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's go look here. Boom.
Yeah, it's the one right before this one. Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, let's take a look. All right, let's go to most recent. All right, let's take a look. Boom, boom, boom. So J Bay here had a great question here, right? About like need some help. This client's looking for for a sales manager. What's some advice for them about hiring their first sales manager? Now some of these okay. This is okay. All right, that's not bad. That's not bad. No judgments there. All right. So take a look here. Okay, this is my comment here. Right. Very intentional. Very intentional here. Right. So I'm literally like, here's a few things. Here's 8 things. These 8 things. A couple other key things. Notice how easy it is to read. So other people, when they see it, it's really easy to read. So the thing is like, then they're gonna look at like, oh, you know what? That's actually pretty valuable. So I guarantee you, some people saw this, whether or not they engaged with this comment or not, they went and checked me out. That's probably what happened, right? That's probably what happened. So that's exactly it. Sales Nav is 100% worth it. I think it's like $80 a month. Is that right? $80 a month.
80, $85 a month, something. It's worth every dollar.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if your average commission is at least $80, like then it's one deal will cover it, right? This is an investment, right? So do not let the restrictions of your company hold you back from maximizing your comp. I could go on a rant all day, but I'm not going to. Okay. So all right, next let's talk about content. Okay. So there's different types of content you can put text posts, slideshows, videos. You can have articles or newsletters, polls, stories, etc. Now each type has a different type of reach and impact. Okay. But what to post? This is really, really important here. The most important thing is your target market finds it to be valuable. I'm going to say that again. What you want to post is your target market must find it valuable. This is really, really, really important. So, a couple things here. No spam posts, right? No, don't just spam people, right? No ads, which is like, hey, let me just list all my features and benefits of my product here. Let's jump on a call. You can have a very low engagement there. Solve problems. Common problems your industry is that target market has. Show you know what you are talking about. Zero product pitches. Now, here's what is okay to do, but you want to still spread it out still. It's okay to offer up educational value. That could be webinars and events, but do it in a really non-spammy way, because your goal is to provide value for them. All right. Really, really important. Okay. So a couple of good rules of thumb. Easy to read. So when most people are going to be on their phone, scrolling, looking at it, is it easy to read? Right. So that means how's your spacing, right? I'll show you some more examples, right? So easy to read. Videos, ideally less than 2 minutes. Now, usually I find the videos that are about less than 60 seconds usually have the best engagement, most amount of leads, etc. But less than 2 minutes is a good rule of thumb. Once it starts going beyond that, you typically will see a reduction in engagement. I mean, it has to be so high value that they're going to sit there and watch a 9-minute video. It's hard, right? Because most people, when they go onto LinkedIn, they're not thinking about watching a video. They want to watch something quick. If they're on YouTube, they're really comfortable with longer videos. It's a different mindset shift of the consumer. Written in second and third grade language. The simpler it is to digest, the more likely they are to read it and enjoy it and see value from it. So a really simple hack is you go to hemingwayapp.com and you can throw in your post, and it's really going to help you. Okay, it's a really powerful way. It's easy to digest mentally. So if it's written in really complex language, or if it doesn't flow, it's really hard to read. And it means people are less likely to, if you have to think about it, you're like, oh, it's kind of like this. It's like you're busy during the day. your boss Slack messages you or they email you this like really like, this email or Slack message that you know is it's like a scroll and you can't keep scrolling. As all these things you got to do. Your brain literally hurts trying to read that. It's no different from social media, so it's got to be really easy to digest. Also, post consistently at the same time daily. This trains the market to understand when you're going to post. This trains the algorithm to understand when you're going to post as well. So again, post consistently at the same time daily. Choose impact over likes. So you could post like a generic quote, a funny video, and for sure, you'll likes and comments. But are they converting to leads and closed deals? Like I see some people post some stuff out there. I'm like great engagement, but are they actually like booking meetings and closing deals? Right, really, really important. A really simple format is, there's two formats to put it here, is hook, value, call to action. That's how you structure a post. And I'll give you some examples. Hook, value, call to action. So first couple lines are the hook. The middle is the value you can provide. The bottom is a call to action. You can do the same concept, hook, story, call to action. So the hook is you gotta capture the attention, provide the story, and then a call to action. Okay? So really, really, really important. All right. Boom. All right. Let's take a look. Let's see. Zero product pitches is really been using it quite often. Hey, if it's converting, if your product pitches are converting, keep going, right? But these are good rules of thumb, right? So again, nothing is 100%. These are good rules of thumb. So let me give you some examples here. Let me go back to my profile here. Okay. Let's just go here. Okay. So for example, this is the post I put up 4 hours ago, right? So actually, let me show you again. I want you to see this real quick. So this is a text-only post right here. You'll see here, because there's no image or there's no video, you can see the first 3 lines, right? So you can read the first 3 lines. It's gonna hook you a little bit, right? If you're consistently struggling in sales, chances you have a poor mindset. That's pretty bold. Some people are like, poor mindset. What are you saying, Marcus? Some people get offended. It is what it is, all right? But to be clear, this is what it is. Now it's like, it makes you want to keep reading. I explain what it is. I break down the value here. There's a little summary here. Call to action. I got some free stuff to help you out. Or do you agree? Very simple. All right. So this is text only post, 4 hours or 5 hours. Right now, about 6,000 views. Not bad. So it depends on what it is, but most text posts will probably be 8,000 to 10,000 views on average. Okay, for me. All right. So let's take a look here. This was a post we shared. It was a link to share. So you can see whenever you share stuff with a link inside, we need it for tracking for this one, but it automatically will reduce your reach because it's taking them off the platform. But it's okay, pretty good eyeballs. Again, a little bit of a hook, right? Value. This is pure value. So people that want to get promoted, want to be a leader, like, oh wow, actually, you know what? That's good to know. Beautiful. Call to action. Go to this book. Here's a video here. Notice the video here. Do you have this characteristic of the top 1% of sales pros? Okay. Well, what you talking about, Chan? Call to action. They watch the video. Again, notice videos here. Number of views, 1,300 views. Significantly less. Your reach is significantly less. Okay. So again, 1,200 views. Oh, look at those charming guys. All right. Another video post. Let's take a look. See, here's a text post with a picture, right? Little story, boom, 6,000 views, right? This one, 11,000 views. Again, it's the same stuff you'll see here. Hook. Here's a story, call to action. This one got really good views, 54,000 views. That one's really good. This is about a week. Hook, value, call to action. Okay. Oh, look at my kiddo. Okay, you get my point. 12,000 views. So you start getting the point there. Okay, you could do you can do articles. Articles not as good, right? Look at this, 223 views. That's not very good, right? Pretty good engagement. 700 views, 300 views. So you see, they're not as good. But now you get some idea. But again, these posts are designed to provide value for the audience. All right. So let's take a look. Look at these questions. Does text, let's see, personal story posts? Yep, that's very powerful for sure. Okay. Does text post length matters? Sometimes shorter ones can get a little bit better, but You only have 1,300 characters, so you should know that. Should you post a link to content in the comments? Ideally, yes. You'll have better reach if your links are in the comments. Let's see. Okay, creating 2-minute Tuesday video on my story about cyber. How do you recommend? Okay, we'll talk more about this, but again, it has to be of value, right? So Blair, for you, your cybersecurity is it? What you got to ask yourself is, does your target market find it of value? Number two, do you have the right people in your audience, right? And then for sure, we'll talk about direct messaging as well, which we'll talk about in a second. Okay. And Connor, that was an anomaly. Most of my posts are probably 10,000 plus views on average. Okay, I personally would avoid LinkedIn automation tools. Here's the thing: don't scale. It doesn't work. Okay. Don't scale, it doesn't work. Like you'll get to a point in for yourself where maybe you have to do some more generalized stuff, but don't do it. Most sales professionals do not need automation. It can help you, but you'll usually burn a lot of prospects, just so you know. Okay. All right, a couple of myths there. If I just post content, they'll come. That's not true. You have to build the audience, right? My audience isn't on LinkedIn. It's just not true. Right? They are on there. You got to go find them. Now, some of them are going to be more present on other platforms too. So understand that these principles I teach today are the same. Number three, I'm not creative enough to post content. Huge myth right there. So remember, provide value for your target market. So let's just say, for example, let's say I'm targeting HR executives. You can literally Google what are the biggest issues HR executives deal with, right? Or based off when you talk to them. Let's just say they say, oh, turnover is a huge issue. Okay, cool. So what could you do? Create content about turnover? I don't know. Go find the most popular book on Amazon about how to reduce turnover, right? Read the book. Get the executive summary. If there's 15 chapters in there, you now have 15 ideas for posts, okay? So you can start finding ways. You see someone's idea you disagree with, create a post off that. So you start finding ways to really, really improve it, okay? All right, cool. Next, let's talk about this because we are flowing here. All right, inbound. Okay, so now, if you have done a good job with consistently showing them doing above, a few things are going to start to happen. Your target market will start sending you connection requests. That's going to happen, assuming you get to do it consistently. They might engage with the content, which is really awesome. They might even direct message you, asking you for help. But I do want to point out, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes consistent work because these are inbound leads. These are the warmest of the warm, all right? But with these type of potential inbound opportunities, you do want to maximize them. So for example, connection requests, you go ahead and accept them and send them a personal video message. We'll talk about this more in a little bit. I usually recommend offering something of high value for free. It's really what's preferred. Or you could ask them about if they're interested about working together. That can work, but it's not as effective, just so you know, okay? You can also, when they engage with the content, you can send them a connection request and drop a video message similar to above. Your tone's focused on being gratitude, being helpful, which we'll talk about more in a second. Now, if they DM you asking for help, drop them a video and book a call. Duh. All right. Okay. That should be pretty obvious. All right. Now, these are the warmest leads as they do see value in you and they are engaging. Maximize these as these have the highest chance of converting. All right. That's the first. Okay. Let me pause this for a second. Let's take a look. All right, let me flow back real quick. Let's see. Okay, I can see how you're targeting as you're targeting a certain persona. When you have target list about 800 companies, don't have a LinkedIn forum, these kinds hanging out. So it's actually even simpler if you have a target list about 800 companies because you just go and add your ICP, just so you know. Okay, like that's much easier. I mean, it's so hyper targeted. Okay, just so you know. What's a view on LinkedIn, right? I think you have to like view it for like 3 seconds. I don't know how the algorithm reads it. What Chrome extensions do you use to help with prospecting? So a couple different ones that we use. Now we do use this with Sales Navigator. We do use a tool called Lead Leaper. So it does scrapes leads based off an algorithm off of LinkedIn, like email addresses and phone numbers. And then from there, we actually process that list through Neverbounce to make sure they have the highest deliverability before we upload into our CRM. So we do have a system in place, but you don't have to get that complex. That's just what we do. Okay. Zoom info is fantastic for sure. I'm sure I'll accept my connection request once it comes through. CMS I heard great things about. I haven't personally used it, but I heard amazing things about it. Personal video message. We'll talk about this in a second. Okay. This will be required. Yep.
Data.
Sorry, what's that?
Apollo.io I dropped into the chat is another. That's the one that I use.
All right, I heard it's very, very good. Okay, cool. So here's the thing. So far we talked about a lot of things now. Now, one of the most important things you can do, which you can start churning results pretty quick, is outbound. Okay, this is what I call spears, right? Like when you master spears, like you never have to worry about money or your number. All right. If you know how to do outbound effectively, you'll never miss your quota if you are consistent with it. All right. Because you know you can put the work out and you can generate warm, qualified appointments. So this strategy I'm going to share with you right now, this works in conjunction with everything else we discussed. And this should be implemented with a mixture of phone calls, emails, direct mail, whatever you are doing to maximize your funnel efficiency. So let's talk about connection requests. First off, these really should be sent out daily because especially if you maybe change companies or your target market's not in your audience, you need to start building the hunting grounds. So hyper target lists in Sales Navigator is highly recommended. These are the best filtered down lists because you can have searches based off so much criteria versus just a general search. Okay, where to find them? I mentioned before: micro, macro influencer comments, groups, etc. If you have a portfolio book of business, even simpler. You just start going after that list and making sure you're connected with them, right? Or on your content. So every single day, you should be doing this. Again, 25 to 50, depending on LinkedIn. All right. After they accept, okay, actually, let me pause for a second. When you're going to send out connection requests, I do recommend, unless you have a hyper personalized message that's clearly relevant to them, that you leave it blank. So if you send a connection request that says, "Hey Jason, I see we have some common connections in place or common connections on LinkedIn. Let's connect." Jason will probably decline you. Okay, that's too general. Be so hyper specific that clearly that they know about you. That's the only time you should have a message in there. So for example, "Hey Jason, I saw that awesome LinkedIn training with the other shaved head Asian dude that you had on Wednesday. It was really awesome. Let's connect." Wow, clearly much better, right? "Hey Jason, I loved your post, yesterday about sales leaders. I read through the comments. That was really powerful." Oh, cool, awesome, beautiful. So they know clearly it's for them. If you do not have anything like that, you're better off having it be blank. Now again, you have a higher acceptance rate with that than if you put in a generic message. Okay, so number one, hyper personalized. Number two, nothing. All right. So, okay, cool. All right. So after they accept, all right, shave head. I know I'm a clown. I get that. So, all right. So, after they accept, all right, here's a couple of things. I highly recommend you use a video that's native in the app. So you can do it on iOS, Android, does not matter. Hit the little plus sign, you can hit the video, and you record on there. All right. So this is very powerful. This will build trust faster than a blob of text. I've also tested this before. So some people say, "Hey, can I use a BB mail, a Vidyard, etc.?" You can, because you'll get better analytics. But I've tested both, and you typically, because there's more friction, going outside of LinkedIn does creates more friction of them responding back to you. So ideally native in the app. Now, if you are in Sales Navigator, you can't do native in the app, so you would have to use a Vidyard, which still works quite well. So for example, for my team in Sales Nav, we're using Vidyard. That's what we use. Okay, same concept, right? But if you were to do native in the app, a regular inbox is totally fine. A couple of key tips for videos. Make sure you look right into the camera lens when recording. So for example, right now I'm looking at my screen, I'm on my notes here. Now I'm looking at the camera. So it looks like I'm looking you right in the eyeballs. Like I'm staring into your eyeballs right now, right? So it's really important. This creates a better experience for the receiver, but also they can trust you more. They trust you faster. Number two, smile. Right? You want remember Mary, be the attractive character. Smile. Pearly whites, okay? Show them off. People like positive people. Like if you're like, "Hey Jason, just want to shoot you a quick message," Jason's probably not going to respond to you. Like, this person's very boring. Okay, show your personality. Okay, be you. Humans buy from humans. Don't be a robot. Be yourself. 4, show energy. A sale is a transfer of enthusiasm. All right. If you're not enthusiastic, why would they ever want to meet with you or have a conversation? Be positive and upbeat. And some people say, "Well, my ICP is really analytical. I'm not going to like that." Okay, yeah, I get that. I'm much rather it's if you lose deals because you're overly enthusiastic, I guarantee you'll lose a lot more deals if you're not enthusiastic. Okay. A 5, make sure you have good lighting. Check your lighting, check your angles. Where don't hide, don't be creepy here. Like I got a light there, I got a light there, I got a light there, I got lights all around to create the optimal viewing experience for that video. Right? They don't want to think that you're like an internet troll sending them a video message. They want to be able to see you. Right? Really important. Make sure whatever is in the camera view presents the image you want. So, for example, if you're working from home, which is many people, if they can see just dirty dishes and laundry around you, is that the image you want to portray? So you control the environment of the video. Incredibly important. Okay. So next, what do you actually say? Now, there's
Marcus,
many. Oh yes,
we got a minute left. I don't know what you want to do here time wise.
Okay, let's see. A minute left. Okay, let me just hit this message real quick. What's that?
We'll share this playbook with everyone too. So I just want to be conscious of time here.
Oh yeah, totally. We'll share this too. So really quick. So and you'll see us later. You'll get this PDF guide as well. What to say? I recommend a GDP strategy, which is gratitude, deposit, personal. So your message is like, "Hey Jamie, Marcus Janier, thanks so much for accepting my request. Means a lot to me. Hope it's been going great so far. The reason I'm reaching out, I love providing tons of value for successful gym owners like you. I put together an awesome free cheat sheet on 7 ways to trim expense for gym owners without impacting member experience. I think you'll get value from. Check it out below. Link. Boom. You'll have a better response rate with that, just so you know. Okay. So very simple, right? And then next, if they respond back, you engage with them and you can navigate the conversation. All right. So also, here's a sample cadence. You'll see this later, but you see it's a mixture of everything. Phone, email, everything. Have a good cadence. This is not, you don't have to do just this. This is just a framework here, but mix it all together to get the highest amount of value. So again, if you're not following Jason or myself, make sure you follow us. We covered a lot of content here. So just like anything else, execute. All right, cool. Jason, back to you.
Yeah, to make sure, Marcus, this has been awesome. You guys, let's blow up Marcus's LinkedIn. So make sure to connect with him. I'm going to drop, there's a couple more links in here. There's the link to the playbook. I'm going to email it out later to you today along with a recording. And then Marcus has also got his 6-figure sales academy too. So if you're looking for some more content, some of the more premium stuff from Marcus, make sure to check that out. Marcus, you got anything else you want to leave us with? Man, this is killer. And the engagement from everyone here watching and listening, this was awesome.
Well, I'll just say, first off, thanks for the fantastic engagement, right? A lot of fun, right? So, at the end of the day, remember, with this type of stuff, it takes consistency, right? So it's not like it's overnight, but we do it consistently, you can get some pretty awesome results. So again, if you are interested in potentially working with Jason or myself, connect with us, let us know. Also, we have programs like that. But again, remember, execution is the name of the game. Thanks for being on, guys.
Love it. Cool. Thank you, Marcus, again. Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. We'll talk to you later. See ya.